This is my sketch illustration of Romance's demon form from the K-pop Demon Hunters, and today I'll guide you through each of the steps so that you could draw this yourself. So grab a pencil and paper and let's get started. Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson I'm going to be drawing with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything heavy around the house will work just fine. Now before we start drawing all those details of the character, I want to break down our drawing with some proportions and symmetry. So let's start with some guidelines. We're going to start at the very top of our page, right in the middle. Just going to sketch a line coming down the center of our page. Just using these short lines, pulling this all the way down towards the bottom. Now let's move back to the center. We're going to draw another line going across from left to right. Now I want to use these two lines to help us create a large circle in the center of the page to define the size of the head. So from the center point, I'm just going to move up to right about here. Just going to mark off the top of our circle. Let's measure this distance down towards the bottom and do the same thing. And then we'll repeat that across this horizontal line. So measure the distance from the center point over towards the left and then over towards the right. And then all we want to do is connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we're going to start with the top left. I'm just going to rough this in. The circle doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using this as a guide. And just smooth this out as best we can. Let's add another set of guidelines coming down the side of our circle. So we'll start with the left side, coming all the way down, and then the right. Now I'm also going to stretch this up towards the top. Now this line is going to help us later on to align the hat. Now with the circle and guidelines in place, we're going to start blocking out the key facial features. Let's start by adding that width in between the eyes. From that center line, let's move out towards the left side, right about here. Just going to draw a straight line coming down. Now I want to measure this distance over towards the right side and do the same thing so we get some symmetry. I also want to pull the eyes up. So right about here in the center, I'm just going to draw a straight line going across. Let's go to the inside point. We're going to angle the eye. It's going up and then out towards the top. Now angle the eye going up and then out towards the side of our circle. Let's draw the outside of the eye. We're going to step in, curve this down, and then in to right about there. Do the same thing on the right. We want to make sure that this width is the same on both sides. And then curve this in and then down. Let's locate the pupils. We're going to start on the top left. We're about halfway along the top of the eyelid. Draw a half circle coming down and up. Do the same thing on the right. Now we're going to bring the eyebrows down on top of the eyes. We're going to start from this line. I'm going to curve this out and then up towards that center line of our circle. Bend this out and then down. Let's go back to the inside. Curve this in and then down towards the inside. Now let's go all the way down towards the bottom of the circle. We'll draw a straight line going across the bottom of the nose. And we want to draw a triangle going up and then down. Now this is just for size reference of the nose. From the bottom of the nose, let's step down. We're going to add a curve for the mouth. Just a short curve going across. Curl the ends going up. Let's draw the upper lip. We're going to step up. Just add a little dip. Bend this out and then down on both sides. Now let's draw in the lower lip. From the left coming down and then bend that up. Now from this outside of the circle, we're going to angle the head. We're going to draw this straight line coming down towards the jaw. Now I just want to line this up with the mouth on both sides. Now we're going to change direction. We're going to angle this down and in towards the chin. And then we'll flatten off the bottom. From the bottom corners of the chin, we're going to add a curve. We're going to go up and then back out towards the side of our circle. And this is just the edge of the cheekbones. Now this character has a pretty high forehead. So from the top of our circle, we're going to step down, curve this up, and then down towards the side. Do the same thing on the right. This is the widow's peak right in the center here. I want to brush the hair going up and then down along the side of the head. So let's start with the left side. From the center, bend this up and then out. Do the same thing on the right. Now on the left side, we want to curve this around, just touching the outside edge of the eye, the corner, and pull that in. Let's do the same thing on the right, going all the way around and then in. On the left side, we're going to add a point going up, step down, curve this around and then down, bend this up and then around the side of the head. Let's add a point on the right. We'll continue to brush this in towards the cheek, go all the way around the outside. Now we're going to draw in the neck. We're going to start from the jaw, step in, draw a straight line coming down on both sides. Step up, slope the shoulders with a slight curve coming down and then out. Let's continue to add some volume to the hair. We're going to start right in the center, step up, then it's up and then out toward the top left and right side. Now we're going to go all the way around and then down. Let's add a layer. We're going to step up, because it's around the side of the head. And I want to bend this in towards the jaw, right towards that outside line. Now the hair is going to come in and then out around the side of the neck. So let's start from the jaw. Just going to curve this into the neck and then back out. And then from the outside, just going to curl this around and then out on top of the shoulders. Now with the head in place, let's layer the hat brim in behind. So we're going to start on the left side of our page. You want to curve this up above these 2 points, go across and then down. Now we're going to draw the back side. Starting back on the left, curve this down and in towards the side of the head. Now these 2 lines we create on the side are just going to help us with the side of the hat. We're just going to angle this up and then in, starting from the bottom. Let's go underneath that front layer of hair and draw a straight line coming down. This is for the tassels. And then along this line, we're going to add a couple circles for the beads. A larger one and a smaller one. Now at this stage, we have a rough sketch in place. I'm going to go back and clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. And once we clean up our drawing, I'm going to use my 0.9mm pencil just to add some contrast and a little bit more shape to the outside hair. So we start from the left side. We can also add a little bit of texture as you go. So adding a few more points along the way. Now I just want to draw the inside edge first because it's sitting on top of the face. And we'll layer the face detail underneath. So you see I'm just splitting open the ends, some separate strands, and then going around the outside. Let's go over towards the center. Just going to add a little bit of texture going up and then out from the middle. Now along this edge, just going to add some more texture. Just these lines going up and out, just flowing with the curve of the head and the hair. And as you get out towards the side, we're just going to flatten these out and do the exact same thing on the right side. Now from the top edge, we could just pull some of these lines coming in and then down. I'm just going to switch back to my 0.7mm pencil and start adding some details across the brow. So we're always looking for those overlapping parts first, and layer everything underneath after. You see that I'm adding a few thick and thin lines. So we're going to go thick along the top and just taper out towards a point on the side of the nose bridge. And then I'm just going to add some thickness to the eyebrow. And here I'm just lightly sketching this in first, making sure that the proportions are correct in the placement, and you can go back and just darken that up after. Now with the eyelid, I'm just going to go thicker along the outside. I'm just going to add a fold across the top of the eyes, going underneath the brow. Let's add those cat eye pupils in the center, just curving in towards the center point, and I'll darken up the middle. Now I'm going to go back and just add a medium shade to the inside of the eyes going around the pupils. And this will make the pupils look like they're glowing. I'm moving down toward the nose. Now we're just using this triangle as a guide. You're going to try to stay within that bounding area. Darken up the nostrils. And work our way around the outside. Now to make things a little bit easier to see, we're just going to erase the detail inside. Add a little bit of shading in the center of the nose. I'm just going to lightly shade the upper lip. And it will define the cheekbones. Going thicker along the outside and just tapering that down. Now let's move to the outside. We're going to add some detail to the strings and the beads. So just adding some thickness to the strings and just roughly adding some detail to the outside. Just working our way down toward the bottom. I'm just going to lightly shade the inside of those beads. And now I'm going to switch to the side edge of my 2mm pencil and start adding some medium shadows. So this is the base layer. So we start underneath the hair and just darken that up. I'm also going to add some soft textures across the hair, starting from the bottom tips. We just want to brush this up and out, and from the top working our way down. Let's go back and just darken up the eyebrows. I'm going to add some shadows underneath the brow, going across the eye. Now I want to add a hard edge for shadows. So from the inside corner of the eye, I'm just going to draw a line going out, then in toward the side of the nose, and just lightly shade the inside. And by adding a line, we get a harder shadow effect. Let's go along the top. Now this hair is going to cast a shadow across the top of the forehead. So again, we're just going to lightly sketch out a line first, and shade the inside. And I'm just going to darken with the side of the cheeks and then fade that down towards the chin. Now I'm going to go back and add those fine details of hair and textures inside. So again, just working with the flow of the hair coming around and in. Just going to add some lines inside. And then also along the bottom. And now we're just going to finish off with those veins across the head. Again, using the side edge of our pencil. Now, as we get closer to the end of our drawing, we're just going to tighten up our shadows and details, and always be sure to sign out artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Romance's demon form from the K-pop Demon Hunters. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please be sure to subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single week. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.